Welcome, history lovers. Today we journey into the heart of medieval South India, to an era when mighty forts stood tall, grand temples rose from stone, and a dynasty of warriors and patrons shaped the destiny of Telugu lands. This is the story of the Kakatiya Dynasty, a kingdom that ruled from roughly 1163 to 1323 CE, leaving behind a legacy of art, architecture, irrigation, and a proud regional identity. The roots of the Kakatiyas go back centuries. Their early chiefs served as feudatories, first under the great Rashtrakutas and later under the western Chalukyas. Their ancestral seat was a place called Kakti, from which the name Kakatiya derives, meaning lords of Kakti. Through generations, from Beta I to Prola I and II, they governed small regions around Anyamakonda, later Hanamakanda, steadily growing in influence through service, loyalty, and local power. But all this changed in the 12th century, when the time was ripe for ambition. In 1163 CE, under the rule of Prataparudra I, the Kakatiyas asserted their independence, emerging from the shadow of their former overlords to become sovereign rulers in the eastern Deccan. From their newfound capital at Warangal, today's Warangal, they began to expand. Over the next decades, the kingdom's influence spread across what is now large parts of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, bringing diverse regions under one banner. It was under Ganapati Deva, reigned 1199 to 1262 CE, that the Kakatiya realm reached its zenith. Through a mix of diplomacy, military campaigns, and strategic alliances, Ganapati Deva extended control over the fertile lands around the Krishna and Godavari rivers, integrating coastal Andhra and several lowland territories into the kingdom. Under him, Kakatiya rule wasn't just about conquest. They began building the foundations of a powerful, stable, and culturally rich state. History rarely records women rulers, but the Kakatiyas were exceptional. After Ganapati Deva, the kingdom was ruled by his daughter, Rudrama Devi, reigned 1262 to 1289 CE, one of the very few female monarchs in medieval India. Though her ascension was met with resistance from certain nobles, Rudrama Devi proved to be a capable leader. She quelled rebellions, repulsed invasions from neighboring dynasties, and reclaimed territories lost earlier. Under her reign, the inner and outer walls of Warangal Fort were reinforced, a moat was added, and the kingdom remained stable in turbulent times. Her rule is often hailed as testament to Kakatiya resilience, adaptability, and progressive social structure, one where merit counted as much as birth. The Kakatiya era was not only about kings and battles. It was about people, irrigation, agriculture, temples, and community. To sustain a large agrarian society, the Kakatiyas invested heavily in irrigation, building reservoirs and tanks in upland regions. Many of these waterworks continue to serve communities even today. They also encouraged social mobility. The title of Naika, denoting warrior status, was not strictly hereditary. Even peasants who proved themselves could rise to prominence, forming a new warrior class. This openness broadened the kingdom's manpower and helped integrate diverse communities under a shared Telugu identity. Language and religion thrived. The court patronized both Telugu and Sanskrit, and culture flourished across the land. If the Kakatiyas are remembered today, it is largely because of the magnificent monuments they left behind, architectural feats that blend artistry, strength, and spirituality. Their capital, Warangal, was protected by massive stone walls and adorned with grand gateways. The most iconic symbol of their legacy is the Kakatiya Kala Thoranam, the magnificent stone arch that once served as one of the grand gates of Warangal Fort. Today, it lives on as the emblem of modern Telangana. Beyond fortifications, the Kakatiyas built temples that stand as unmatched examples of Deccan architecture. The thousand-pillar temple in Hanamkonda, the beautiful Ramappa Temple near Palampet, with exquisite carvings and star-shaped temple layout, numerous smaller shrines and temples across their realm, altogether forming a distinct Kakatiya style that influenced later dynasties. These monuments are more than stone. They are the imprint of a civilization that valued art, devotion, strength, and cultural identity. But like all empires, the Kakatiyas too faced decline. By the early 14th century, threats loomed large. The expansion of the northern powers, especially the mighty Delhi Sultanate, spelled danger. Invasions began, first a raid in 1303 by the forces of Alauddin Khalji, followed by a full-scale siege of Warangal in 1310. The Kakatiya king then, Prataparudra II, was forced to accept tribute to Delhi. Though there was resistance even in 1323 against another invasion, the dynasty could not sustain itself, and 1323 CE marks the end of sovereign Kakatiya rule. What followed was a period of turmoil, until local chieftains, the Musunuri Naikas, briefly revived some measure of native rule. But the golden age of the Kakatiyas was gone. The Kakatiya dynasty may have ruled for only about 2 centuries as sovereigns, but their impact lasts more than 8 centuries. From forts and tanks to temples and Telugu identity, from promoting social mobility to defending regional culture, the Kakatiyas forged a legacy that echoes even today in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So the next time you see the stone arch of Warangal or walk among the pillars of Ramappa Temple, know that you walk through history shaped by the Kakatiyas, warriors, builders, rulers, and above all, guardians of a culture. If you enjoyed this deep dive into medieval South India, like, share, and subscribe for more such stories.